So for the action here, the character is going to be running through the scene. So I'm just going to go to Cartoon Animator 4 and let's import the character, which is Ethan. So I'll be linking the rigged character in the resources folder of this course. So one thing about Cartoon Animator 4 is that they are pre-made animation templates which you can use. So I'm just going to click on this animation, then motion. So I'm going to click on this G3 human, double click actually. So there's a turnover female and turnovers male. So the action we want to use for this character is actually in the turnover female. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to double click on this side, then I'm going to look for the character running fast. So I'm just going to be using this character running fast 2L. So I'm just going to double click, and I'm just going to make him run for like, let's say 2 seconds. Is actually 60 frames in Cartoon Animator 4 if you are using 30 frames per second. So if you check the composition settings, you see that this is 29.97, which is almost 30 frames per second. So 2 seconds here is going to be 60 frames, but I want him for like 2.5 seconds. So I'm just going to make this longer than 60 frames. So this 65, let's add more. So I think this is great. So we can change his facial expression. When you want to change this character facial expression, make sure you are back on the first frame. So you can just go back to frame 1. So you can come here and then click on this, or you can just use Ctrl K direct. So I'm just going to be using a template here as well. So I'm going to go to angle. You can use angle of here. Okay, I think angle is actually great. Then I also want to play with his eyes. So click on this, then shift click on the second eyes. So I'm just going to drag this to that side. If let me try and zoom this in. Okay, so it's going to be looking at that side at frame 1. So you can come to 30 frames. This is a lot. 30 frames. Then drag the eyes back to this side. So it's going to actually look like it's searching for something. So you can go to 60 frames again. Then drag the eyes back. Then let's go to 90 frames and drag the eyes back. So I'm just going to locate the last keyframe where this animation stops. So I think it's 97. So I'm going to click on this little icon here and then change this project length to 97th frame. You can actually use time as well, but I like using frame. So you can see here as well, 1 second equals 30 frames. So I'm just going to click on OK. So you can play this. His face is actually shaking, so we are not seeing the eyes, but it's a progress actually. So it's a progress actually. So let's save this, then save project. So I'm just going to go to our characters folder. Then you can create new folder here using characters. Let's just write characters anim, which is you can short form of characters animation. So I'm just going to save this here as Ethan running always. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to export this as well. So this icon here, so I'm going to go to video. I want to export a video. So I'm going to change the format into this because it has transparent video properties and the frame rate correct. So I'm just going to scroll down here and change this output size to HD 1080p. So I'm just going to click on export, then okay. So I'm just going to go into our countdown movie folder, then characters and name. So I'm going to create another folder here which is going to be transparent. You can just trans, then I'm going to use the name I used to save this project so that anytime I want to edit, I can locate the file and edit it. So I'm just going to save this and wait for this to render out. So when it's done exporting, you can just close this. I'm going to go to After Effects, then import the video here. So let's just locate the video. So it's actually this characters and folder and this transparent. So I'm just going to drag this into our project. This is the project. Then drag it into the timeline. So this is our character here. I think the height is okay, but I want to scale him down. So S for scale, I mistakenly then you can change this to 80. I think this is actually great. So I think I'm going to make him run in 3D. So once you click on this file, like this character file, then let's click on 3D. So it's going to have the 3D effect. So I'm just going to drag him back somewhere there. Somewhere there is actually great. So let's set the position. So click on this file and press P for position. So I'm going to select this keyframe. So at 000 seconds, the character, this file will be here. So let's go to something like 2 seconds and then 15th frame. So I'm going to bring the characters over the scene. So at 2 seconds 15th frame, the character will be there. So once you play it back, so you can watch it. This is actually slow, so I'm just going to drag it back. Let's try 1 second. That is too fast. Let's try 1 second 15th frame. That is actually too slow, I'm thinking. So you just have to set this to match. Okay, I think that's actually great. Okay, I think that is great. So I'm just going to bring him above the scene. So you can just position him in. You can also change this. I think it's going to be better like this. But I'm just going to turn this back to 0. But you can work on him in 3D. I think that was too fast. I'm thinking that was too fast, so just make sure it's perfect. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave this here. So we are done with the first shot, and it actually take 1 second and 11th frame. So I'm just going to save this.